Right. Hey guys, how are you? Oh man, it is good to be here. Little bit of an announcement, a little bit of something going on in my world. Let's get see if we're live here, because you know me, you never know if I'm live or not. Gotta. So all right. No, here we go. Here we go. Let people get caught up here. Say, hey, welcome to Sober Talk. You are here because you want to get sober. You need to get sober. Perhaps you're just sober curious. Regardless, I am glad that you're here. Like I said, I've quit many a times. I have quit. Some buzzers going off in the other room. I've quit for 3 months. I've quit for 6 months. I've quit for a year. I even went 2 years. And I always think, I got this. I'm good. I'm good. And then I end up going getting a physical. My triglycerides are through the roof, or I get drunk and say something stupid. And I don't even really have to get that drunk to say anything stupid, because I'm an idiot anyway. So, I quit drinking because I didn't like the way I conducted myself while I was intoxicated. Turns out I'm just an ass. So, bam, there you have it. So, nah, but I'm one of millions of people who have an allergy, I have the disease or whatever. I just can't drink. One turns into 20, and I had been sober for 106 days now. I have to look at my little app. I got this app on my phone called the Spiritual Toolkit, and it's really a cool thing. It keeps track of your sobriety, and it gives you things, resources to go to, whether it's AA, and we do not plug any given, any one treatment, strategy. It could be AA, it could be religion, it could be, it could be sober talk, the show that you're watching. It's I take a little bit of everything. Right now, I am working 109 days. I've been no alcohol. Right now, I'm working the steps, and I gotta tell you, I'm not loving it. I am not loving it. I had a meeting. First of all, there's a thing called the resentment. So you step 4 and step 5, and you write down everything that people you resent, companies you resent, things that you felt like done you bad, and then somewhere along the lines you got to talk about, take inventory of things that you've done bad for people. And a buddy set me up with a guy. You're supposed to present this to like a stranger or someone, and a buddy set me up with a guy, and I said, what? I told him about a situation. He said, "Come on, you had to screw him over a little bit, right?" And I said, "No, you're going to be hard pressed to find me doing anything questionable business wise." It was a business endeavor that I went into, and I ended up losing over $100,000. Ended up getting my name was drawn through the mud. It was just god awful. I have lots of resentment from these. And the guy I was talking to turned it around on me, and I go, "No," he didn't know me. He didn't know the entity I was resenting. So that didn't work. And then I had a buddy who wanted to come over and talk with me, you know, uh, at my office on Thursdays, and I said, he said, "All right, we did one Thursday, and then we came back the next Thursday, and I couldn't make it." I said, "Hey, I got a show. I totally forgot about the show, but let's do it, Friday or Monday." And he's like, "Call me back when you're ready to get serious about your alcoholism." I'm like, "Oh, golly." So he kind of turned into a resentment. And then yesterday, my good buddy Gary, who's like my sponsor right now, we sat down in my conference room here at the comedy compound and the studios here for Sober Talk, and we're going through it. And I'm like, "I don't get it, Gary. I just don't get it, and it's making me want to drink." Yesterday, the Steelers were playing. I was like, "Man, that's my team." They end up winning, playing the Ravens, and I'm like, "Man, I want to drink beer. Let's go to Beef O'Brady's or Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's grab a pitcher of beer and some wings." I didn't, obviously, because I know I can't do that. And it wouldn't be long before my blood pressure's through the roof. I got, the alcohol-induced cardiomyopathy, what have you. But I was just really resenting Gary, and Gary didn't do nothing wrong. But we're reading it. And my mind, my brain juices for the past couple of days have been really off the charts, crazy, stupid. You ever get one of those like, "Oh God, I'm pretty dark." And yesterday wasn't so dark. It just my ADD was so bad. I'm like, "Gary, I don't get it. I don't believe in it. I don't like it. I don't. That to me, it's a bunch of BS that there." And Gary told me why I was feeling that way, and he's going to come on the second part of the show and share that with anyone who's had the same thing that I've had, where you're like, oh, screw this. This is BS. I'm not going to drink, but again, I want to find that happiness. They always say, how do you know if you got a drinking problem? If it causes problems. This caused a whole bunch of problems with me. And being alcohol free is one thing, but being alcohol free and happy is another thing. I drank to self medicate. I drank to feel good. Yeah, daddy's home. This is nice bourbon and Coke. This is nice Bud Light. It just makes me feel good. And this morning I had my therapist here in town is an addiction specialist, and she's a rock star. Her name is Jane Gaynor in Louisville, Kentucky. If you're ever looking for a good therapist, and she's like, Tom, it's okay to feel that way. You just take what you want from it or what you need from it now, and then it will pop. And there's a latency to my learning. So, and I told her about that situation where, that's how I read something in a big book, and then it came back when I was going through an episodic manic episode or something. I remembered what I read. She said, "Yeah, you'll pull from it when you need it. You'll pull from it." And she said, "But you don't have to." And the beauty about how my brain works is that I'll take a couple things from this. I'll take a couple things from this guy over here who's working on a totally different program. And so it's interesting. It's interesting. And so that's kind of the topic tonight. It is Sober Talk. It is November 2nd. Can you believe that? And we got a full show for you guys. Have a newcomer coming on the show. And but first, we're going to call my dear friend, and we're going to ask him about, because I told him this morning, I said, dude, I'm done. AA is BS. I just, and it's just, I'm not excited about it. I don't even want to do it. And he said, yeah, he said, that's going around. He said, that's really going around because he's in a few groups, and I don't know if it's the pandemic fatigue that everyone has, if it's the the election that's happening tomorrow night, or whatever. But man, it's pretty wild. So let's call Jeff up and get him on the phone, and he can kind of shed some light on some of this. Whew, but man, it was not a good day.
Tom.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I was just talking to I'm live. I was just talking to the Sober Talk audience here and telling about my calling BS on a bunch of the steps and just being, my brain juices are all out of whack, and I'm just, I'm like, screw this. I didn't drink, but boy, did I want to drink yesterday. And
that's tough, and I know what you're saying because the steps, and I'm a big AA, and it's been a great program for me, but it is very lined out. But the steps, a lot of people, especially when God comes into the discussion, there's the amends, bringing up. There's a lot of things that are tough. And the only thing, I guess at the beginning of it, the line right before it, and I just know this because we read it before meetings, but it says, these are the steps which are suggested as a path to recovery or whatever. And I
didn't
my
see that
thing,
part.
Tom, is, yeah, it people get caught up and they think it is the only way. And, I got a lot out of AA. AA did, save my life. I'm not going to take that away, but, there's things in there I pick and choose, and it's just like AA is important, but Sober Talk's important. And what I get from people that, that call in, I pick stuff up, and it's kind of cliche, but everyone talks about, filling their toolbox for sobriety. And, everyone's toolbox is going to be different. What's in mine that works for me is going to work for me. And, I think everyone has to have their own. And my advice is with AA, no one says you got to do any of it. I think we're all early enough in our sobriety that I'm looking for little nuggets and bits and pieces from anything and everything. I guess that'd be my only advice to you is don't get caught up in it. I wouldn't not listen to it. I'd read it, be aware of it, and be open to it. But if it's not if there's something you're not comfortable with, or whatnot. You can't force any of this stuff, you know.
Yeah.
You can't force me to do something. I just rebel and go the complete opposite way.
Yeah.
I have to,
Done that.
yeah, I got to want to do it. And, you know, and AA would probably be chewing me out for saying this because they, you know, follow one and then two, and there's a reason there in numbers and all that. But I cherry pick to a degree. And some people need the structure, and I'm in the middle. But you got to grab what works for you and throw away the rest, I guess.
You know, I love the structure. I love the routine. That's, you know, it's a constant reminder. And you do pick up things. And I need to not be so hard on myself because I'm not getting it, I'm not loving it, or whatever. And there's some things that I really do love. I love the part that's going to make me not so insecure, not so cocky, but just right in the middle, just, you know, right, confident and
Right.
happy. And that's what I'm trying to get to, you know. And Gary, you know, we hung out yesterday when I got some lunch. We hung out here, and I was like, man, is it like, you know, the first step, you know, admitting that you are powerless against alcohol? Like, yeah, I admit that, I get it. He's like, no, but do you really get it? Do you understand? I'm like, how else can I
Right.
say, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, is there a, just don't make it
I don't
harder
see
than
the
what it is.
tattoo. I don't see the tattoo on your chest that states that. So obviously you're not committed.
Well,
No,
yeah,
that's cool.
again, you know, my brain juices were jacked up yesterday, so it's
Yeah.
definitely, you know, it wasn't him, so I'm not pissed at him, but I just,
It's your program, Tom, not anyone else's. Not mine. It's not, you know, a sponsor. It's yours.
yeah,
And if you try to make it, you know, live someone else's, you know, it's just like the God thing, you know. And I'm one of these guys that I want to know facts. Well, I want to. Well, okay, if we're gonna go with this God thing, what's he look like? What's his color? Or his hair color? What color eyes does he? You know, how tall? Tell me. I want facts. I want facts. And a lot of people get caught up on that. And I understand that. And you know, I think it can turn a lot of people off. But I think the thing only says is, you know, do you agree that there's something, a power greater than you, that might be able to help you? And that's as far as you got to go. And I don't know, you know, this group, I mean, everyone together on Sober Talk as a collective group is more powerful than I am, you know,
yeah,
and that's why I'm here, because I can't do this on my own. So yeah, is there a power greater than myself that can help me with sobriety? Sure. Sober Talk is, if that's my power, you know, don't force me. And I'm a religious guy. Don't get me wrong.
right,
But don't force me to say God or use God or whatever. It's just, is there something? Yeah, I'm pretty damn weak. So yeah, sure, there's a power greater than me. And I'll tell you one example is the group in Sober Talk. That's more powerful than I am. So I'll use that as my higher power. And there's nothing wrong with that. So I don't know. I just try not to get caught up on that stuff and
yeah,
and make it your own.
yeah, and I feel better after talking to you and after talking to my therapist this morning. You know, she's like, you know, you don't have to, you know. She said, you get it. I can tell by talking with you, you get it. And she knows I'm a religious person, and she knows, she's like, you know, it's not all about religion. Like I said, it's God as you
Right.
understanding. You know, my higher power is the universe and God. Uh, I mean, look, I'm a God fearing man. I pray, but I still have questions. I still have, okay, come on.
Sure.
What if we're all here from aliens? You know, after hearing some of these, you know, whatever. But I can look at the universe and go, damn, there is something bigger. You know, there is, whoever did all this is pretty damn smart and it's pretty daggone cool. So,
But
um,
when I can get past trying to get specific and paint it and see exactly what it is and get past that and just go, hey, I don't know what it is, but I think there probably is something. Good. Now move on. That's all. That's all I got to do. But my brain wants to go. I want to know every friggin' factual detail
yes,
about that. That's
yes.
not the important part.
No,
It
you're right.
just,
You're
I
right.
don't know what it is. I can't define it. I couldn't. I'd love to, but I can't. I'm not going to worry about it. The bottom line is, I don't know what it is, but I'm going to go ahead and let's run with it and
Yeah.
see how that where that takes me.
So, hi, buddy. Everything good in your world? I mean, are you still sober and any slips
Yeah,
or anything? Or
you know, real quick, I'll let you go. But someone the other night said something that on the show kind of bummed me out, but I've heard it before. Was but made a comment about, all we do is joke, or we joke a lot about, the stories, the funny stories when we were drinking. And I think in the chat someone said, this isn't helping me. It's making me want to go drink because you're kind of romancing
That was
and
probably rehab.
putting.
I think that was rehab Randy, who who was
Yeah.
upset about us cutting up on the phone.
But the thing is that yeah, we do, but um, the bottom line, the truth is this program. Well, not the program. Sobriety is hard. It's a lot of work. At least for me, it there's a reason that even like AA, they say that 5% success. There's a reason that number is low because it is not a magic pill easy program. It takes work. It takes a lot of work, but um, I do know that if I don't do the work and put in the effort, I'm going to have a whole lot more of those funny stories to tell because I'm going to be right back driving around hammered, tomorrow night if the election doesn't go how I want it to go or whatever.
Kanye has a
Yeah, we
chance,
laugh
man.
about
Don't give up hope. Your guy Kanye just may win.
Kanye. God, he's there. He's just over the top, people.
I'm sorry.
Write it in. Um, yeah, God. But it is hard work. But at the same time, I'd rather laugh than cry.
Yeah.
The only reason I can laugh about some of those stories, like that best man fiasco, is because I'm better than I was then. If I wasn't better and growing or whatnot, that story I couldn't laugh at that story. I would just cry about that story. But because I'm working on it and I'm getting better and I'm writing a different ending than that story was, pointing my direction to, I can laugh at those things. So I understand,
Yeah.
what whoever said that. It's a tough one, but there's a lot of toughness in this thing. And when I can laugh about something, but at the same time, I laugh because I know that things are going well and a lot better than they were back then.
Isn't it amazing? As bad. Something. Okay, now Gary did say something hilarious yesterday. He's reading a comment. One of the comments says, my my worst day sober is better than my best day drunk. He says, screw you. You're not doing it
Yeah,
right.
right.
You're not
Yeah,
drinking right if your worst day
Yeah.
sober.
you you're doing it really
Yeah, you're
wrong.
doing it really wrong. Hey, I've had a lot of great times drinking. God, I miss,
Yep.
but the problem is I had more, like I say, you get a problem in your life and you start drinking to deal with the problem, then your drinking problem becomes a bigger problem than the problem you were trying to push back in your
Yep.
head. But
And that's why, Tom, the sobriety thing is tough, and it's a bummer at times because you're giving up. Drinking was a best friend of mine we had some great times together. But
we've
you know what?
we've jumped out of airplanes together.
Yeah,
We've
no,
gotten in bar fights
exactly.
together.
We have done a lot, and it's like losing a good friend. But I got to remember that in addition to those happy times, there was a ton that came with it. Now it's so much harder to remember the bad stuff. It's easy to remember the good, but I got to try to remember both. But yeah, that's it. It makes sense to miss it.
Yeah.
It was there when I was down. It was there when I was up. But it got to the point where the negative it was bringing overshadowed any of the fun, and the fun pretty much got smaller and smaller towards the end.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
wasn't
and,
the
and,
lack
and
of
we're
trying,
getting we're
though,
getting
that
older, and you know when it affects your life, and you go to jail, and you have to be forced to go to rehab, or any way it affects people, and I
yeah,
talk to people all day long. I got people who want to come on the show, but they want to talk to me prior to an interview, and I hear just some god awful stories, and I hear a lot of the same exact story too. I got
yeah,
arrested, the cops came to the house, I had to go to rehab, my wife, left me, whatever. It's there's and after a time, it's like, okay, that's enough's enough, and
yeah,
and and if we don't if we forget about those rock bottoms, then we'll definitely go back out. We'll start forgiving ourselves and go, okay, the sting of that embarrassment or the sting of that $20,000 DUI or the sting of this or that has faded. So
Yeah.
now I can uh, start drinking again, and that's what I like
That's
about.
what I've talked about my daughter and some of the bad things with,
Mhm.
the memories. And I said, I never want to think about those days again, but I pray to God I never forget them. Because if I forget them,
Yeah.
I'm right there.
Mhm.
So,
Mm-mm. All right,
all
Jeff.
right. Well, look, always great and loving the show. Can't wait to hear your guys coming up. So
Yeah,
that'll
yeah,
be
we
good
got we
stuff.
got two more guests, and I'm gonna go home. And this weird, it's got dark today at 4 o'clock in my neighborhood. It's crazy. So,
Yeah.
all right, man. I'll talk with you soon.
All
Thanks,
right.
Jeff.
Thanks, Tom. See you, bye.
Okay. All right, so we're going to say hi to some people here. Let's see. And let's check out Sober Talk website first. Mickey Griggs. Hey, Mickey. Michelle Hutton. Hey. Michelle's going to talk to Rehab Randy. Joel Harris is here. Donnie Durbin, one of our favorites in the house. Donnie Durbin. Timmy Adcock. Hey, Timmy. Bob Van Orden. I saw Bob follow the page today. It's good. Bob, it's good to see you here. You're here a lot. Jennifer Marie Bowl. She's new to the group. I think I'm going to get ready to call Jennifer, so be on standby there. We got Penny Bishop is here. Joel Southwick. Hey, Joel, welcome to the show, brother. And Daryl Hanson and Ricky Dollar Green, my man. So he's here. So it's all the DA's here. Gary Adams, sup all? Yeah, Gary's going to be our final guest tonight. David Gossman. So man, this is great. We got a lot of good folks here. Let's switch uh, real quick Tom Mabe comedy. Sometimes I'll cross post on both my pages just to get the word out. So let's see who we can say hi to real quick and see if anyone has any pressing, they need to talk to someone, or maybe they need they just need to talk to someone. Ernie Douglas, hey Ernie, how you doing? Adam Maza, Zing Yang, I'm 5 beers in already. Michael Meehan, great to see you again. Tom, howdy from French Lick. Hey Michael. Michael, I want to have you on this week again, Michael. It was so fun having you on. Bruce is here. Awesome, Tom. 120 days. Love you, brother. Malay. Let's see here. Dr. Jones, are you good right now? I am good right now, Doctor. Mark Collin. Yeah, congratulations on 109 days. It will be 218 days before we know it. Keep it up, Tom. Looking great, man. Thank you for doing this. God bless you. Thanks, Mark. I'm glad you get something out of it, but mainly you know, I'm getting a lot of it too. It's kind of my AA meeting in a different way. By the way, this is not an AA meeting. I'm not a doctor. Never take advice from me. I'm just here to listen and encourage people to follow the page and encourage people to join the private group because we got a lot of experience in that private group. I'm kind of concerned I don't see Carl anywhere, and that kind of bothers me. Trevor, I've been allergic to hops my whole life. Drank hard liquor for a while, but sober now. Besides weeds and hallucinogens, well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's good to replace one for it or not. They say quitting smoking cigarettes is harder than quitting heroin. This is John Edwards Egan. I quit smoking, still can't stop drinking longer than a week or two. I think alcohol is the hardest. Yeah, John. But as soon as you get those sober days under your belt, man, you'll start defending them. I have been sober for 14 years. My wife said I used to be a drunk a-hole. Now I'm just an a-hole. Sounds like me, John Collins. Bob Bailey. Everybody rolls their eyes at the old timers until they say something that saves their lives. That's Bob Bailey. I love that. He says everybody rolls their eyes at the old timers until they say something that saves their lives. Oh, geez. David Myrick says, think about the hangovers. That has helped me. The thought of dry heaves, headaches, and bloated red face. Dude, I tell you what, if you guys have an ego, if you're like me and you're somewhat in the public eye, all you gotta do is go look at my picture now, and then look at my picture 45 days ago. Oh my gosh, that bloat, that booze bloat that Bev calls it. It's in the red nose, and it's bad. All right, so Nuno says hey. So let's get to our next song. And, oh, Birdsong Mindy, hey y'all. Christopher Michael, that's how I am. All right, here we go. Let's get to our next caller here. And if I can find her number, give me a second here. We are calling Jennifer, and I know I have it here somewhere. Jennifer has a very familiar story, like a lot of us, and she's new, and she's thinking about taking the leap, and getting sober. Let's see how she's doing. And she hung up on me. Let's see, maybe that was an accident. Oh no, it's not. Jennifer, we'll talk to you later on. So we are going to move on to Gary. Gary's here. Let's do this. Gary Adams. Gary Adams is the president of the Donnie Durbin Fan Club. If you ever want to get in the Donnie Durbin Fan Club, just get with Gary. He'll hook you up.
Hello.
I just told everybody that you were the president of the Donnie Durbin Fan Club, and if they want to join the Donnie Durbin Fan Club, is reach out to Gary Adams because he's the.
There you go.
How you
How's
doing,
it going, Tom?
brother?
Oh, hanging in there, man, like a hair on a biscuit.
Like a So I talked to you today. Kind of iced you out a little bit last night because I was going through the funk. But man, I wasn't having. You and I went through we were working the first 3 steps yesterday, and it wasn't hitting me. I'm like, this sucks. This nothing has ever sucked as bad as this. My mind couldn't stay focused. I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to drink. I'm okay for right now, but I don't want to do this. And I tell you, I was done. And then I you sent me a couple encouraging texts, and then I talked to my therapist this morning, and she was saying, hey, you don't have to take everything from the steps right now. Those are the suggested steps, just like Jeff said earlier. What's going on? Why am I freaking out right now? I'm 109 days in. I should be. I'm over 3 months. Why in the hell am I trying to sabotage myself? I feel good. I look better than I have in years. Why?
Well,
go ahead.
kind of commonly what we all deal with is it's a disease of untreated alcoholism, and it doesn't go away quietly, and it doesn't give up quietly. That's that's the thing about when it feels that it's being cornered is when it's going to rear its head and cause the restlessness, the irritable, the discontent, and to try to come up with anything to get you restless, irritable, and discontent so that you won't follow a program. That's for me, that's the only way that I could stay sober. I had tried to do it on my own before and failed miserably, and quite actually had a few flameouts. One just about cost me my life. And somebody through a rehab facility, somebody had given me a anchor. It's like a typed up message from your disease.
Now,
and
someone gave you an anchor?
A what?
You said somewhere in rehab someone gave you a what?
A letter. It was a letter.
It's
a message, a letter from your disease. They said, here.
Oh, from
your disease left this.
Oh.
Yeah, they said your disease left a letter on your bed.
That's so. If you had a hard time understanding Gary said when he was in rehab, someone left a letter on his bed. Hey, this is from your disease. Would that be considered your addiction at the same time, or is
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. A letter from your addiction, a letter from your disease. That's hilarious. But do you recall what it said or anything in there that was inspired?
I still have it with me. I keep it with me. It stays in my recovery folder.
Oh, jeez. Well,
yeah.
Can you share a little bit?
Sure. And I'll read this, and this would be me taking the part of the author of the letter. Greetings, addict. I hate movies. I hate powers, and I hate anyone who has a program. To all of you who come into contact with me, I wish you nothing but death and suffering. Allow me to introduce myself. I am the disease of addiction. I am cunning, baffling, and powerful. I've killed millions, and I am pleased. I love to catch you with the element of surprise. I love pretending I'm your friend and lover, and I have comforted you. Wasn't I there when you were lonely? When you wanted to die, didn't you call on me? I was always there for you. I love to make you hurt. Better yet, I love to make you numb so that you can neither hurt nor cry. When you cannot feel anything at all, this is true gratification, and all I ask from you is long-term suffering. I have always been there for you when things were going right in your life. You invited me in. You said you didn't deserve good things, and I was the only one who would agree with you. Together, we have been able to destroy all the good things in your life. People don't take me seriously. They take heart attacks, strokes, or even diabetes seriously, but not me. Such fools. Without my help, these things would not be possible. I am such a hated disease, yet I do not come uninvited. So many have chosen me over reality and peace. More than you hate me, I hate all of you who have a 12-step program, your program of meetings, your higher power, all of these things that weaken me, and I cannot function in the manner I am accustomed to. Now I must lie here quietly. You don't see me, but I am growing bigger than ever. When you only exist, I may live. When you live, I may only exist, but I am always here, and until we meet again, I wish you death and suffering. Just wanted to keep in touch. Your disease.
So yesterday I was writing a letter back to addiction, back to disease. Like, man, I miss you, baby. I love you. come back to me. So we choose that powerful, cunning, baffling disease over our life. And so yesterday and today, that was my addiction, my disease talking to me, trying to, so I heard someone say, hey, while you're in this AA meeting, your disease is out there in the parking lot doing push-ups. And someone said, hell, no, what's up on your shoulder, dude? It's right there. And I got to tell you, hey, Carl Martin, welcome back to the show, and Natalie, they're late. But if I was down at the beach yesterday, the way I felt, well, yesterday was Sunday, so you can't buy alcohol in Hilton Head on Sunday. But I would have been drinking, I think, if I was down there by myself. And I would turn my phone off because I could walk by a beer and my wife could tell that you've been drinking, haven't you? That kind of thing. But it was tough. It was very, very tough. I feel better now. I woke up this morning to do my Zoom meeting with the early worms, and I didn't do it because you know what? You go on these damn meetings, and you're like, golly, shut the hell up already. You're so depressing, and you're so I just want to drink. I just want to drink listening to your God's awful drunken stories, I mean, and they're not always that way, but sometimes you could tell yourself, I don't think I can listen to another bad story. You ever get that way, Gary?
Well, unfortunately, there are some meetings that turn into a lot of war stories, and I tend to, I know there's days where you feel, quite up to snuff, but those are days where you got to a little extra harder.
Hey Gary, you're cutting in and out really bad. I don't know if you're in the west wing of your house or whatever you're doing.
The west wing.
But,
is that better? I'm trying. I was on one end of the house, but I've gone to the other side. Is that better?
Yeah. As soon as you stepped out of the elevator, I could tell that it. Yeah. So, but it is war stories, and they're not always funny, But that's what I really want to turn sober talk into a really, really where people could bring their, their lessons from AA, bring their lessons from their holistic, healing. It's just it's a big potluck dinner, and I don't want to, I don't want to alienate any type of, program, but I do.
No, because what works for one person may not work for another person.
Right.
For what got me sober and keeps me sober may not get the next person sober or keep them sober.
Right.
I mean, each person has to work their own program to follow the steps that they feel are necessary to keep them sober. I know personally for me, what's allowed me to be sober over 2 years and to actually enjoy a level of happiness, and being, comfortable with my sobriety and in helping others,
Yeah.
and like,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
go ahead.
Yeah, you cut in and out. Yeah, and just as the AA meetings and stuff helps you. I get really wigged out when I got to go the weekend without doing sober talk. But my wife and kids, they need dad around. I can't be out every night doing sober talk. And I was worried about tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is we have the election, so we probably won't do tomorrow night sober talk. Uh, I'll just check in and see what people think. Cara Martin says one of the best exercises I've ever performed was to write a letter to alcohol. Started mad as hell as how alcohol, but then 2 pages later ended up thinking it. Oh, thinking alcohol. Oh well, I get the people. That's what I want when people talk about AA and oh my gosh, you're going to find a happiness that you never knew was possible, and your life is going to be so freaking great, man. There's going to be parades and be cake and there's be hookers and I'm saying not hookers, but it's just like all this incredible great things, and I'm like, when does that happen? And I know it's not going to happen in 109 days, but did you ever get that? Oh my gosh, like what made me think of that? Carl just says he ended up thinking alcohol. He ended up thinking it because his life is so much better now that he had that in his life. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It makes total sense. My aha moment was when I had two aha moments. My first aha moment came when I was in my IOP class in rehab, when I actually managed to get over the death of my brother. And without getting over that, my recovery was pretty bleak. It would have been useless. I would have just had another trigger to send me over the edge. My second aha moment, my spiritual awakening, is when I dropped my fifth step, dropped my fourth, went through my fourth step and did my fifth step with my sponsor and laid things out that I figured that I was going to take to the grave with me, because I came out of that with a lot of guilt, shame, and remorse lifted off my shoulders, that I had finally cleansed my side of the street somewhat.
So when you do your resentments on the 4 step, I don't want to get too much in this. So is it about things that you've done bad to people, or the things that you resent? Because I thought it was, I've written out, when I've tried that step before, was I wrote out people and entities and things that I resented.
That's part of your resentments. The other part of it, if you're doing on a 12-step program in your resentments, you're also doing your harms that you've done to other people that cause resentments as well.
I gotcha.
And so generally your 4 steps divided into four different parts.
That's the first time I heard it explained that way. Dag on it. It's okay. That's what was so confusing to me, because I read one, it's about people you resent and then things that you done wrong to people. There's 4 parts to the 4-step. The 4-step.
Yes.
First time I heard.
There's resentments, there's harms, then there's sexual harms, and then there's fears.
Now, are the harms things that you harmed them, sexual harms that you done to them, or this stuff that's happened to you? Or does it matter?
It could be both ways.
Okay, it could be both ways. Okay. All right.
And then basically what that's designed to do is to show a pattern of your social instincts and your driving instincts that will basically run you back into addiction if left unchecked. Yeah. Character defects, things to watch for, things that that shows you, that basically show you how you tick, and how you and what you're prone to do, and what to be aware of.
Speaking of ticks, my ticks have calmed so far down. I was looking at tape the other day trying to put together a best of thing for when I was out of town, and like, oh my gosh, when I first stopped drinking, I was extremely. I have Tourette syndrome, and it's usually will be in twitching or whatever and ticks. And boy, they went through. My brain juices were really, really jacked up. My brain was pissed off when I took the beer away from it. It was really, really upset. And boy, I was just kind of reacting weird to it.
Well, it's your addiction rewires the reward center in your brain. Your brain, in order to release serotonin, it's going to make you happy. It needs to be satisfied, and when addiction has rewired your reward centers in your brain, then that's the only time that you're truly on a chemical level going to be happy. And when you stop doing that, then your brain doesn't care too much for that.
Wow.
That's one of the things of going through rehab and going through a treatment facility is giving you the chance to be in a secure environment in order to get get your brain reset and get rewired back to somewhat of normal, a normal functioning brain, which it can take years to get your brain actually back to a pre-addiction level, to where it functions on a proper keel, so to speak, depending on what substance or how much of it you were abusing.
All right, buddy. I got another call here, and I think I'm going to need some time for. Yeah, sorry about not being the best company yesterday. It's starting out step work, man. It can be a bit daunting and overwhelming, and we just keep moving forward with it. Yeah. Well, Gary Adams, thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
All right, Tom, you have a good one. Love you, brother.
Love you, buddy. See you.
All right.
That was our buddy Gary Adams. We're going to try to call. Let's see if she can pick up here. What? Let's see if I can just do. Every time I call her, it says that it just goes busy. This is a new person to our show, and here we go. Hello, can you hear me? Hold on 1 second. How about now? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, all right. Sorry about that. I called you like 3 times back to back, and it rang, and then it was a busy signal.
I know. I don't know if it was like my phone, because I kept trying to hit the answer button, and it wouldn't let me answer. I'm like, what?
Well, I'm glad you're here. You joined I saw you at Sober Talk a couple nights ago. I guess it was Friday night you joined? Was your first night?
It was. Yeah.
Hey.
It was.
and we'll call you Jen or Jennifer? Or what do you want? What can we call you?
Either one.
Okay.
Either one is fine with me. Jen, but not Jenny.
God, what's up with you Jennifers? I'm not Jenny. Do not call me Jenny. Jeez Louise. Is your middle name Nicole by chance?
Oh, Lord.
Is your middle name Nicole? Is it?
No, it's
okay.
Marie.
Marie, okay.
You know that.
Well, I just was setting
Jennifer
myself up.
Marie,
yeah. Okay, I didn't see it. Now I see it. So, Jennifer,
oh, goodness.
tell us a little bit about your drinking and how much you drink and all that. Because I saw your picture. You seem to be a young lady. You don't seem to be. You look somewhat healthy. You drink a lot?
I do. I mean, I don't drink every day, all day per se, but I am a binge drinker. So, if I get a day or maybe 2 days in there, I'm lucky. It's really it's hard to really explain, because I know a lot of people, wake up and do the hair of the dog, and but I drink beer mostly, and I used to, I've done the vodka thing, and I'm like, okay, I'll be on a bender for like 2 or 3 days. I'm like, okay, I can't do this. But yeah, I started drinking at 16. I'm 39 years old, and throughout my 20s, I mean, it wasn't bad. It was, I could go to dinner, or I could control it. I could have a couple glasses of wine at dinner and go the hell home, like a normal person. But then after, like right around 30, 31, I started losing control of it. And now I'm 39, and I'll tell you, it's progressed very much so. And when they say, alcohol progresses, like, it is so freaking true.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, at least for me, and I know that for a fact. And, you know, talking to Gary tonight and all the structure. And so I've been through all the, you know, forced rehabs, you know, jail, DUIs. I've been through all of it. And I'm 39 years old.
And all this started. You said that you started noticing it getting bad around 31, about 8 years ago. You
Yes.
start going to jail, forced rehab.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. And, you know, now I'm 39. I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, I'm gonna be 40, you know, next year in May, and I'm just over here like, so I want to turn 40 and still be. No, I don't. But it's hard, you know. You can't just. It's a freaking bitch, is what it is.
Oh yeah.
Use my language, but
Okay.
it is a. Sorry, my dog is. Hey, who? No.
Is your dog drunk? Your dog sounds like
My
he's
dog might be drunk.
Oh,
He's like a cat in the window right now. He's a little Yorkie, and he thinks he, you know, obviously he's my guard dog. We live out in Prospect, so not a lot goes on out here. Probably a coyote or a deer or a raccoon outside. But anyway, but yeah, I really don't know. For me, you know, I don't have a lot of time under my belt right now, but I love this show, and I tuned in last week, and I haven't been to any meetings or anything because the COVID and stuff. I
Right.
don't really.
Well,
I don't know. I know they have
you've
like,
been to meetings in the past. What did you think about the meetings? Did you enjoy them, or or did you ever find a good one that you liked?
I did. I went to 60 meetings in 60 days, and I had a home group. It's called Young People's Off Frankfurt. I think it was every Wednesday. And I loved it there. I mean, it was big though, you know. So I have anxiety, so you know, anxiety is a bitch too.
Oh yeah. Well, that's why you're
But
self-medicating. I mean, we all.
exactly.
Let me address.
Social anxiety and all that
Let
stuff.
me address this one comment. I'm looking on Facebook, and I go back and forth. And if we have
Okay.
have someone, I just want to. Scott King says I'm over 500 days clean, and my wife just left me after 25 years, and it's got me in a dark place. Nobody in my circle cares anymore. They probably just want me to end it all, but I'm better than that, I hope. Scott, if you need to talk, just send me anyone can send me an email, sobertalklive@gmail.com, sobertalklive@gmail.com. Thank you. I'm just in a bad place. She brought her new boy by, and it's got my whole evening messed up. Now I gotta go to work and fake it like nothing is wrong, so my team don't get down. Wow, that's a tough place. Have you gone through?
I've been homeless. I mean, absolutely. I've gone through. Um, I've never broken a bone in my body, and I broke my face in 4 places from falling drunk. Okay, so
Oh,
if
geez.
that doesn't say it, then I don't know what does.
So it's
So
called
rock
it. So
bottom.
you know that
So
it's a
you think
problem.
that'd be a rock bottom, but absolutely, yes. And you know, the only thing I can say to people right now is just keep on keeping on, because don't give up, because I haven't given up, and I've been through a shit ton in my life, and
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have. And you know, I've got the whole childhood trauma. I got all of it, and I know a lot of people do, and we self-medicate, and it's like, you know, it's my best friend, and you feel lonely, and it's
Right.
a lot of demons, a lot of things that go along with it. And
Can I share something you told me about your mom? That was pretty
yeah,
bad.
sure.
You
No,
said your mom was murdered,
yes, she was murdered. When I was 13.
and then the person who killed her was going to get out of prison.
Hmm.
The anniversary of the day he murdered her.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
and
After 26 years, it was supposed to be this year on the 27th of May, this past May. And last May, I was sober,
mhm.
and I found out about him getting out. So I relapsed. And, you know, we all got excuses, whatnot. I get it. But that was a big one for me. That was a real tough time. And finding that out. And I'm like, are you kidding me? There wasn't a parole hearing, you know, for the families to come and, you know, stay there, whatever. And it pissed me off. You know, I was extremely upset about it, to say the least. So, I haven't had many days under my belt since then. But he passed away in April, almost right around a month before he was going to get out. And it was a blessing. And I never thought I would, celebrate a death of anyone. But
Wow.
in those circumstances, he took my mother away from me when I
Sure.
was very young. And ugh,
Well, no,
you
well,
know, so
any addiction kind of, 95% of addiction kind of derives from abandonment
mm,
and trauma. And it sounds like you
yeah,
had two
yeah,
in one because mm, you felt abandoned
right,
because you no longer had a mother and the trauma of your mother getting
right,
killed. And
yeah.
wow,
Yeah, that's why I was
that's,
saying, like, when I was 30, it's like my life just kind of started to plummet a little bit. And 31, and it's almost like I was outliving my mom. And I would think about that a little bit here and there. And I'm like, God, I didn't really realize how young she actually was, because when I was 13, I thought, I mean, she's my mom and she's young, but she's, she's 30 and I'm 13. So I'm thinking, yeah, it's just hard to explain, but yeah,
no.
that definitely with addiction, alcoholism, yes, absolutely. Anything like sexual abuse. I mean, even divorce. I mean, any kind of abandonment, any kind of trauma. My best friend got killed in front of me on Bardstown Road. She got hit by a car
Oh, God.
when I was 20. When I was 22, my son was 6 months old. So it's almost like I saw death and I've seen it, and it's just I
What are you going to
I can
do? Let
make
me, when I talk to you, and you sound really fine right now. I don't know because you knew you were going to be on the
yeah.
show, but I could tell that you haven't gone 3 days alcohol free in a long time, correct?
No, I have not. No, you are correct. I
It,
have not. Like I said, I don't drink every day, all day. Like I don't get up and drink. But you basically might as well put me in that category. It's fine.
yeah, no, you seem to drink as good as you seem to be a professional drunk like me. It seems like
Yes.
you could really
Right. I'm a
you
professional drunk
you're a
for
pro. I'm like, God, man,
sure.
she's good. She's like a whole different level. She's like Tiger Woods good, man. No one drinks as good as Jennifer.
Oh,
God, she's the
goodness.
best.
You laugh. Yes.
Oh,
But I'm not, okay? Because I'm going to tell you, drinking for me, I mean, I can be fun, I can be outgoing, all that stuff, but I can also be just completely embarrassing to myself and to
yeah.
people around me, and it's a lot of people that are close to me in my life, they don't understand, and like my dad and stuff, and I feel bad. It sucks, because
You said your son he's a teenager, and
yeah, he'll be 18 in February. Yes,
he
yes,
asked something that stuck out after our conversation. You said he asked you not to drink when he brought his girlfriend over to meet or to the house or something like that. He just asked you not to.
yes, and I was sneaking it. I was sneaking those little fireball shots. Anything I could do, I was sneaking it. And that's
did you get drunk? Did you
addiction.
get drunk in front of the girlfriend?
I mean, I got buzzed, and I tried to hide it, and we still had a good time. I wasn't falling over all the place, but or cussing anybody out, but I might have been more outgoing or more outspoken, because I don't know. I mean, but they knew, he knew I was drinking, and he didn't say anything at the time, but it was a disappointment. It always is, and this freaking shit is a cunning, baffling, powerful. I mean, it's like I saw that
Yeah.
topic on here. It's completely ludicrous, and a lot of people don't understand it, and it sucks. It really does.
You gotta have routine, and that's why I like sober talk every night.
Yes, and structure. I'm gonna tell you. I think Gary
structure.
was talking about that. The times that I have gotten sober, I had structure. Like I had to be and I had to be at the outpatient class at 9 o'clock,
Hmm.
sharp. And it's, I mean, I don't work right now. I'm just doing online school. But I'll
Hmm.
tell you, if I had a job right now, I mean, I wouldn't make it a day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am not a functioning alcoholic. And that's where, a lot of people are functioning alcoholics, but I have never been one and I am not one. So, for all of you all that are, good, more power to you. But
Yeah,
I am
congrats,
not
right?
one.
Yeah, no, I was functioning. Oh, I was an incredible
I can't have
functioning
no
guy.
alcohol.
No,
People know it. They're like, you're fired. Okay, gotta go get my shit.
I have I have a friend who you know, I've watched her get fired. I mean, like she had a major career,
Oh
and
yeah,
I've
absolutely.
seen doctors lose their careers, male and female. I've seen, you
Right.
know, the waste of life, and I'm like, oh, just do it, just go to rehab, just go to detox for 7 days,
Do
10 days,
something
just
right.
jumpstart your sobriety any way possible. Go
Yes,
to your doctor, get some benzos from your doctor, get like 10 days of something. I don't know, but just talk to your doctor,
something
and just man, really, I love to see you, you know, get in some kind of, you know,
program. Absolutely.
or just routine, structure, routine. I think most people here, that's what we need is structure. And maybe that's why, you know, you know, maybe that, you know, I don't know. So my ADD just kicked in. Isn't that awful? My right now, 109 days in, Jen. I'm telling you right now, my
Congratulations.
yeah, but
I
I'm all over the
I can't
place.
wait to call in and be like, I got a year.
I
Like,
want to see you have a
no,
week.
we
If you get a
fantasize
week,
about that.
if you
A
got a
week. You want to
week,
hear
I
from
would
me?
love that. I would love that.
I have a week. I went through the whole thing, and I'm feeling really good. Yes, me too. I agree. And
Well,
I appreciate this show so much because like I said, I accidentally clicked on. It's almost like I just saw sober talk, and I'm like,
what's
because
that?
that's always on the back of my mind. It's been on the back of my mind forever,
There's so
for as
many
long as I
people.
can remember.
There,
Sober,
so
sober,
the other night
sober.
we had 200 people watching, and
Right.
by the time it was over, we had 15,000 people who watched the whole show, and I get emails like I don't want to. One guy said I had to leave the community because it was getting too people recognize me and I can't. I guess the guy was
Oh,
a school teacher or something. He didn't want people
oh,
recognizing him. Uh,
yeah.
so I
I don't
mean,
care who recognizes me. How you doing? Tune on in and listen to my shit because I don't have anything to hide. I'm an open book, and it is what it is, and it's son of a bitch is what
it
it is,
really
and
it it really is. But
we're gonna have to fight this stuff together every day for the rest of our lives. I mean, literally, that's all it comes down to, and I am aware of that, and I'm not in denial. So I think that's a
well,
good
good. Well,
start.
that's the first thing. Do you the first step that I was? They do you think you're powerless over alcohol?
Absolutely, I have
Absolutely.
worked that step, and then step two, and then I got stuck on step three, and the higher power and stuff. I struggle with that, and with my mom passing away and stuff, like I wasn't raised like, in church and stuff. And not that I'm not atheist. I'm not saying I don't believe in God. I believe that there is a God. I am more of like universe.
Yeah.
There's a God, and I don't know. I mean, like Gary was saying, like, what's his, what does he look like and stuff like that. Like, nobody can really think that way because, I mean, people do think that way. I get it, but I just the universe. Like, I believe in, talking to the universe, and the
Yeah.
universe always gives back what you give it, and the universe is so big, and there's a reason why we're here, all of us. There's a reason why I haven't died. There's a reason why you haven't died. There's a reason why all the people watching right now have not perished. There is
I
a
think God's
reason that you're
waiting.
still
I think,
here.
yeah, there's a reason. I think my reason is God's waiting for me to get my daughter through medical school, and
I
until
think it's more than that,
yeah,
but
well, I tell you what,
that's
I'm
good.
loving. Guys, I'm so loving sober talk, and I just
Well, I'm going to see my son graduate next year. I guess it'll be next
good,
year in May.
good.
And
So
with this whole
you're a
COVID
Kentucky
thing,
girl.
it's like, yeah.
You're a Kentucky girl,
I
right?
I am actually I'm from Henryville, Indiana,
Mm,
but I've been over here since 1999, so I consider
gotcha.
myself Kentucky Anna girl, I guess. But Kentucky. I'm a UK fan, die hard. My dad. I grew up with it, but
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
So
let us
I
touch base.
appreciate.
Well, I want to touch base with you, and I really,
Mhm.
like, I love to see. There's a few people here I know that they drink and they still, but there has to be some
Uh,
kind of improvement. There has to be some
there
kind
has
of.
to be something.
So if you could ask your doctor about trying to stop, and
Yeah, and they have like naltrexone. I don't know if you've heard of
yeah,
that,
it turns
but
out the receptors in your brain that react. You can't get drunk, but
mhm. Yes,
can you
or
still
you can
go
do
on
the
detox?
shot.
Can you still can yeah, I heard about the shot. I've heard about
Yeah.
everything, but I just the main thing is
But yeah, detoxing, yes, absolutely, absolutely, 100,000%, yes. Detox first, and then consider doing that's an option, to get on. There's actually a pill you can take that'll block it.
yeah,
Um,
I just don't want people there's a pill that you could take. So if you go to the doctor, he can give you something not to detox. I guess that's what benzos,
well,
yeah. Or
most of the time, I
help you
mean,
with the
from
withdrawals.
my previous experiences when I walked into detox, Our Lady of Peace, the Brook,
Hmm.
I wasn't detoxing because my vitals weren't. I guess your vitals have to be a certain your heart rate and all that stuff. So basically, I wasn't. They told me I wasn't really detoxing. Like I didn't need a medical detox, but I'm
Wow.
sure I could drag myself to that. I know, isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm still there's
and they turn people away, and you're like, man, they want some help. Don't turn them away.
right.
It's
I
so
know
much.
that I don't know. You know what? I know that
Oh.
I just there's so much for me to learn, and I don't want to. It used to be
I
like,
mean,
here
it
you
depends
go.
on your insurance too. Like,
Right,
if
right.
you just got Medicaid, it's like, oh, sorry, it
Yeah,
sucks.
I'm very fortunate if I need I can go to the doctor. But
But But
I
yeah, back to what we were saying, there is absolutely there is a pill or a shot you can get that lasts 30 days if you get the shot
and is that the
injected in your
naltrexone?
arm.
Naltrexone is that
It's
something?
called Vivitrol. It's called Vivitrol. I've never had it, but you can start off with naltrexone as a pill form, so
Hmm.
you just take it every night or every morning, whatever, and once a day, and then it's the same as the Vivitrol shot, but I saw a guy in rehab. I was in Georgetown, Kentucky at the gosh, what is that called? Georgetown. They have one in E-Town. I can't remember. But I was out there and I saw a guy get the shot and he started having like this huge reaction. I'm like, okay, not doing that. Um, you
Yeah,
know,
you'll find any. Hey, I gotta hang up. I didn't realize how
no,
late
you're
it is.
good. You're good. You're
All
good.
right. Hey,
I appreciate you having me, Tom, and you're awesome. You make me laugh, and everybody here just keep your
well,
hopes
stick
up.
with. Hey,
And
please join the private group. There's a lot of people here. There's Carl. There's Michelle
I
Hutton.
totally
There's
will.
everybody wants to help. But I'd love to see you get some
Good.
sober days under your belt.
Yes, sir. All
Uh,
right, Tom.
all
It's
right. I'll
great
see
seeing
you.
you.
See you, Jennifer.
All right. Bye bye.
That was Jennifer. That's so man, guys. Well, real quick, David Vernazzi. Sorry, I'm late. I had to handle some business with my snow removal. David, I want to. Are you? Have you not drank since we talked over the weekend? Did you make it through the weekend without drinking? That is David. You know, we had a deal with David. I said, no, you never get more than 1 or 2 days sober. I'm not going to have you back on the show until you have 5 days. Go to your doctor and figure out what you can do to get 5 days. Adam Trevette says, I'm very successful and work for the largest energy company in the United States. There's no shame in being sober or trying to help someone to reach the next step in there. Yeah, Adam, we agree. We agree. Some people just kind of feel like this is too public. That's why the AA, if you want to, Alcoholics Anonymous, this is sober talk is just kind of a gateway treatment to a real treatment facility, like a gateway drug. We're a gateway program to the program of your choice. But I tell you what, I want to grow this. I want in this chair next to me, I want a doctor, and I want them talking with you guys and tell you what happens to the body and things that happen. And we're gonna have Laura from Tampa Hospital, Tampa big hospital in Tampa, to come in. She had a tragedy, a last minute tragedy, and she couldn't make it Friday night. But yeah, man, I am so glad that you guys are here. I love you bunches, and Did I just say I love you bunches? Oh my gosh, I spent the day with my daughter today, so that's where that came from. Yeah, and Jennifer wants to know where Rehab Randy is. Yeah, we got to figure out where Rehab Randy is. I've not seen Rehab Randy here, Michelle. Michelle spoke with Randy, and the next day, and he wasn't intoxicated, and she said they had a good talk. Uh, so, well, guys, do me a favor. If you want to check out the podcast of Sober Talk Live, if you go to sobertalklive.com, it's on the screen. Just type in sobertalklive.com. You can go there and find our YouTube channel, Facebook page, or what you're on already right now, or our podcast. You can become a supporter and whatever, man. I love you guys. I'm going to take off, and we will see you soon.